Manchester United 2, West Ham United 1. Manchester United actually won their game against West Ham United in a pre-season friendly in the MetLife Stadium in the United States. Actually, we saw more of tactical improvement, we saw more fastness, there was a lot of pressing. Manchester United improved on a lot of tactical details that was needed to be improved. After our last pre-season game, Manchester United was more sharper, we are more on our front foot, we actually played very well. So guys, let's analyze this video together. So one of the most obvious reasons was one of the reasons I actually said about in my last video when I talked about the Amorim build-up system. Actually, one of the reasons that the CCB drops into the pivot is not actually to be there for fancy or just to occupy space. The CCB actually drops to the pivot to actually drag the opposition press, to actually urge the opposition to press. And when the goalkeeper gives the ball to the CCB actually doesn't try to go long or try to play any kind of style. The CCB actually recycles with the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper recycles with the central back that are wide, and it's going to actually beat the press of the opposition team. And that was what Matthias de Ligt was actually doing yesterday. He was dropping into the pivot like the CCB, recycling with Atabayanda, and then beating the press of West Ham United. So one of the observations we made yesterday was that our wide central backs are actually beginning to take more responsibility on the ball. Euro and Heaven are beginning to be more proactive on the ball, more progressive on the ball. If you watch yesterday, Euro and Heaven was actually the two players that was controlling the position of Manchester United. They were actually detecting how Manchester United are going to build up and how the long passes were going to go, like how the long passes were going to move from the deeper positions. And this is something that I'm very happy with, because Euro and Heaven are just actually very young defenders that actually have a lot of time to grow in football, actually become one of the best ball progressors and one of the best defenders in the Premier League. And they have been actually doing very well in the Premier League. You could see that Euro was progressing very well, and just like I explained, not using the wing backs, using the wing backs as decoy. Euro was doing that very well. He was always looking to play into the half spaces. Even though Heaven had some loose balls, there were times whereby his passes were not actually very clean, his passes were going to throw-ins and all that, but Heaven was actually very spot on, and most of the times he was very casual. And these are things that I think that little details that I know that probably as the preseason goes on, as he becomes more fitter and more sharper, he's going to work on these details in his play. But when it comes to our defenders was actually very good. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but de Ligt is actually becoming more proactive in our games. Last season, most of the time, de Ligt was actually being more of a stopper than a ball-playing defender, but now he's being more of a ball-playing defender. He's becoming more progressive. He's becoming switch the ball very faster. Most of the times last season, Maguire actually buys time on the press, which actually makes like I showed you in my last video, it actually makes the opposition team front line to actually be compact, makes them to press very well.